Hey Matt, how are you doing?
Good. How are you, Zach?
I'm pretty good. Might be a weird question, but I wanted to get your take on this. How has Philip Rivers made your defense better this year? You see him every day in camp, you see him every day in practice, he's coach on the field, all that. I feel like there's some impact there.
Yeah, I think whenever you're playing with a guy that has that experience at that position, you use him as a resource from his football knowledge and what he has seen through the course of his years. There's not a coverage that he hasn't seen, a disguise he hasn't seen. So I think that the players, along with myself and the staff, use him as that, and he's forthright in his information that he's giving and forthcoming in his information that he gives. So it's been outstanding. So he sees the game through that great experience through his lens, and we're excited to use that.
And will you ask him questions either on the practice field or in meetings about what he sees and what a quarterback would be thinking?
Absolutely. We use him and say, hey, what does this disguise look like? What does that coverage look like? What does it look like to you? And then he gives us the information from his perspective and what he's seen over the years. And he's been a great teammate that way. He talks to Kenny and Darius and Zave and all the guys about different techniques and fundamentals that he's seen over the years and what's hard for him. So he's a great resource.
Ken Sterling.
Hey, Coach, what have you learned about your defense during these two wins against the Texans?
Well, I just know that they fight and stay together. They're a unit that, when you're playing Deshaun Watson, he's going to extend plays and there's going to be an occasion where your man coverage or your zone coverage breaks down because of the extension of play, and he looks to throw the ball down the field, and the guys have stayed positive, stayed together, and held tight and gotten the takeaways and played good situational red zone defense during the two victories that we had.
Ken Bowen.
Matt, you mentioned the red zone defense. What makes a great red zone goal to go defense? Because you guys have been outstanding there the last few weeks.
Yeah, I would just say everybody's tied together. The rush and the coverage. Obviously you always got to stop the run down there because teams like to run the football. And then when you get them into the situations, the third and fourth downs, you got to do a great job of executing. And our guys done a good job of that. I think Carr's done a good job of disguising and making things look similar and then different post snap. We've done a good job of that as well. But the guys have done a good job, obviously, with the takeaways down there too.
And then yesterday, Frank mentioned Komoko kind of came on a little bit during the game. What did you see from him? It seemed like it was not just purely a speed rush. He did a little bit more than that.
Yeah, he played more snaps, and I think he's getting more comfortable with where he is with his body, and we're just encouraging him, just to keep going and really just stay at it. He did a better job of using his length. We thought did a better job of level rushing, and then turning the corner at times. So just his basic fundamentals of rush. I think that he's getting more comfortable as he gets more snaps, and he's progressing.
Mike Chappell.
Matt, as much as you guys in preparation worry about yourselves and doing things your way, when you're playing an opponent like Pittsburgh that's having some issues on offense, how much do you look at that, or how much do you know that Roethlisberger and that offense has done this and that in the past?
Yeah, we just, Chat, we just basically look at the tape and we try to diagnose what they're doing well. And then what we can do to take advantage of any situation, be it first down or second down, with our looks and our coverages. But obviously, we know the history of Ben and what he's done in the past, and the first 11 games, what he operated as, and we're just looking at how we set up our defense for this week. But certainly a great history with what he's done in the league.
Thanks, Coach.
Jim Aiello.
Hey, Matt. Yeah, this is obviously a Kenny Moore question, but do you see the the slot corner is somewhat, I guess, undervalued in the NFL, just given all the different things. Yeah, you have to cover number one receivers and slot receivers and tight ends, and then all the responsibility that they have, especially in your defense.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny does play outside too, on base defense. But relative to your question, Jim, I would say that, yeah, I would say that it is an undervalued position. Not in our defense, though, because we know that, and I think I've said this before, that the will and the nickel are two hot spots for us, and two guys that really have to be explosive playmakers, and we have those here with the Colts, with Darius and Kenny. So those guys, Kenny does a lot of different things. He matches coverages. He's in the hashing the numbers a lot in zone coverage, and has to play those guys in man-to-man and make different calls, and then he pressures a lot. And, so he does a lot of different things for us, and he does them very well. And, he's an outstanding player. He's got great energy, and he brings a lot to the table for us. But we certainly value Kenny as very, very high.
I know how someone like Darius Leonard would react to a Pro Bowl snub because we've seen it before. But how do you think Kenny Moore will handle this?
Yeah, that's we've dealt with that before. Again, we focus on, like I would say, what Coach said. At the team meeting today, he just was saying, hey, we focus on team goals. Those are individual things, and those will come. And you can't always determine what other people think about you. You just got to put your head down and work. And that's what Kenny does. Sometimes people have opinions of you one way or the other, and that's their opinion, and they're entitled to it. And then you just got to keep working and keep producing in your job. And that's what Kenny does on a day-to-day basis.
George Bremer.
Coach, looking at one of your other Pro Bowl snubs, DeForest Buckner on Sunday, how unique is it for a defensive tackle to be that impactful on a day when he had limited snaps?
Yeah, that's remarkable, isn't it? I mean, for him to be able to come back, and then, when he hurt his ankle in the practice, that we were all kind of holding our breath to say, hey, hopefully he comes back, and he always had a positive attitude, and I think that's part of it in terms of the healing and treatment, to have that positive attitude and have your body and mind respond the correct way. And he did everything he could to get ready. And then the impact he had in that football game with the 3 sacks and the pressures, and then playing some first and second down for us. And then, just his leadership in terms of his character and what he brings to our defense was just outstanding. So his impact was definitely felt.
I was curious, just be honest, what was your reaction when Defoe didn't make the Pro Bowl? We thought you were speechless when you didn't answer.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was. No, I would say that, it happens. I've had guys in the past not make it. And then I've also had guys not make like Darius. I've had another linebacker at a previous stop that didn't make the Pro Bowl, made the All-Pro team, which is, voted on by y'all, the media, and the guys that are selected to get that vote, to vote on the All-Pro team. And that's more a prestigious honor. And, I certainly think that he'll probably get that, I would imagine, because he's one of the best defensive linemen in football. So, I'm looking forward to that. And if he doesn't get it, then he doesn't get it. But I think that he's certainly worthy of that.